I kind of like this. Hey, my name is Dante, and the microplastic we're looking at today is the fantastic model FM-04 Doc, Fansoy's version of Autobot Ratchet. As an expensive MP scale figure, my expectations are very high for this toy, as it competes with Takara's MP30, X-Transbot's Ratlift, and honestly, that's about it. So not a lot of competition, to be honest, but it is still worth mentioning. But let's figure out, does this figure justify its hefty price tag? Let's find out with a thorough examination. So of course, being a higher budget MP scale figure, the details are impressive. The proportions are more akin to the 86 movie rather than season 1. The chest is still the car hood chest is still very prominent, but it's not quite as like bulky and blown up as it is in season 1. The arms are unapologetically blocky, which is nice. The legs are also slim. They start slim, they bulk out at the knee, and then start to angle out at the thighs and the feet. I'm not a huge fan of how panelly the feet are, but and you'll see why later, to be honest. The paint is not super consistent. So right here, you can see that it's painted right here, but almost a white plastic here. And that contrast is pretty obvious, even on camera and in real life. Clear blue painted parts are also pretty obviously painted, as opposed to being like, instead of being a piece of plastic that's painted on, it's a clear piece of plastic that's painted on. You can kind of tell. It's very mild though. The hip skirts are nice, bright, cherry red like, but it's kind of weird because the hands don't match that for some reason. The hands are very like this weird kind of dark, gummy, almost maroon shade for some reason, which is fine. The rest of the paint, or the rest of the red paint, like on the shoulder and on the side of the door, are very good. And overall, this is a beautiful bot mode. Like it is a very nice looking bot mode, especially from the front, minus some small amounts of paint chipping here and there. The back is also honestly not that bad. These panels can pop out for some reason. I don't know why they inserted it, like they designed it like this, but that they did. And then the back, the feet, you can kind of see the car bumper, the rear bumper a little bit. This is not as attractive, but it's still very, very good. The articulation overall is not bad. It's really not. There's a swivel at the neck and a hinge up and down. I do wish there was a ball joint. I like the side to side. It gives it more attitude when you swap out the faceplates. The arms go all the way around 360, out a little bit past 90. There is a fairly tight bicep swivel. You can see it kind of moves like, oh, well, it moves the transformation hinge a little bit more before it kind of gives. So make sure you hold it by the shoulder before you swivel at the bicep. I do wish there was a butterfly. There's kind of a pseudo butterfly joint at the back, but not really. It doesn't really go back. It's for transformation. Wish there was a butterfly joint, but I understand. It's just that's just nitpicking. The wrists swivels, and each finger is articulated with a double hinge all the way through. And then the thumb is on a ball joint with a hinge at the thumb joint, I guess. There you go. The waist is nicely ratcheted. There is a nice ratchet right there. It sounds very clicky. The ab crunch is for transformation, but there is one. It's not bad. The hip skirts, of course, go up and out for leg articulation, which we will go through now. Nice forward kick. The back is not as good. I'm not really sure why. They try to compensate for it by making a slight cut here at the back of the hip, but it doesn't help all that much, to be honest. Leg does go out, which is very nice. Slight thigh swivel. And then the double hinge on the knee is interesting. I don't know why Fansoys is doing this. They've been doing this a lot recently. I noticed it first on their FT21 Berserk. It has a double hinge, but the first hinge is a friction hinge. This is very tight, though. On the previous release of this mold, Warhorse, their version of Ironhide, this was notoriously loose. Like, it would just flop everywhere. But this is, they seem to have gotten the tolerances down, and this is good. It's good enough. But the second hinge is a ratchet. I think I would have preferred if it was just a full ratcheted double knee bend all the way around. I'm not really sure why they didn't do that, but that's what they've done. The hips are ratcheted, which is very nice. The feet do have some backwards articulation, but that's more for transformation, and it is very ugly because you can see all the transformation bits. So I wouldn't recommend using it, but it is there if you want to. And of course, there is a pretty good angle tilt. Overall, the articulation is pretty good. Like I said, it's good, and you know, you can't expect that super duper amount of articulation like an action figure from a transforming figure. And speaking of transforming, so let's talk about the transformation. This is probably my least favorite part of this figure. Well, not including the dumb G1 mode, but that's besides the point. It's definitely more involved than MP30, and it's, I would say, on par with X-Transbot's Ratchet. The legs are more complex, but the trade-off is that the torso is slightly less involved, which is nice. I know the torso and arms look involved, but those are fairly intuitive after a couple of flip-throughs. And oddly enough, this transformation actually reminds me the most of its New Age counterpart, ER, with the bottom side of panels folding from the legs and the backpack forming the roof and half windows. Kind of interesting. I would say this has better proportions than that, but I would also say the New Age has a more fun transformation. But the legs are extremely over-engineered. I've been gone for the holidays, so I haven't played with this as much in the past week or so, but this thing has a couple of tiny panels that you have to flip out in exactly the right position, or else you just have to, or else you won't be able to collapse the roof, or you won't be able to close the windows, or the doors won't close, or the roof won't fold over the arms. It's a very, very involved, and it's very over-engineered, I should say. I didn't enjoy the process, but I enjoyed this. But you know what? Despite the over-engineering and tight tolerances in some spaces, damn it. Okay, we're gonna look at this side. It's pleasing to the eye. This van overall is very nice looking. This is a tightly packed brick. You could definitely hurt. You should not, but you could, if you needed to in a desperate situation, hurt somebody with this thing. But I think this is kind of where we definitely need to talk about the paint chipping. Just like his clone brother, this guy has an unbelievable amount of paint chipping. It sticks out in both bot and vehicle mode, and I think it wouldn't be such a big deal if there wasn't so much painted. Oh yeah, we're looking at this side. It wouldn't be such a big deal if there wasn't so much painted clear plastic. This part, this whole front window section right here, and all the way back here, and these parts right here are all clear painted plastic. My ambulance lights also just like to pop off for some reason. They pop right back in, so it's not a big deal. But I enjoy this vehicle. This is a very nice, fun vehicle that is, you can tell it's premium, and the wheels are, it's kind of hard to align the wheels because of the way the rear wheels transform. It doesn't slot in exactly. There's still space for back and forth and left and right, but these, and the same applies to the front, to be honest. So it doesn't roll super smoothly, but it still does roll. The rubber tires and chrome are very nice. There was supposedly chrome chipping on the headlights on Warhorse, the previous mold. I have not experienced that yet, and my bumper also does not seem to be chipping, which is nice. On the back, there's some paint chipping on the rear bumper. Oh yeah, this is also clear plastic. You can kind of tell. But overall, I like this van though. It's not bad at all. Yep. There's one more mode.
A few moments later.
Wow, this mode is stupid. Look, I get it. It's supposed to be the G1 toy / that one panel from the comic accurate kind of mode. I don't care. This is stupid. And the transformation was not that fun. It's not super complicated. The only thing is that you have to pull, there's a slot right here in the back that tabs, it doesn't tab, it slots into this sliding joint right here, and getting that out for the first time was so difficult. It's easier now, but it's still not really worth it in my opinion. And it's not even technically toy accurate, because in the original toy, this is supposed to, like, the body is supposed to be able to mount onto the back of this as like a battle station mode. But I mean, obviously that's not happening. This thing is way too small. But the good thing I think is that it doesn't seem to compromise engineering. And what I mean by that is that the inclusion of this stupid mode, I mean, if I took all this off, it's just this tray basically. The inclusion of this doesn't seem to be a factor as to why this is so complicated, because this simply, this part simply, we'll talk about the accessories later. This simply slides out of this one hinge right here. And it is very tight, but it just slides off of this like that. It's still stupid, but I mean, at least it doesn't seem to, at least apparently, make the engineering worse. But honestly, this is not worth putting into. I'm going to put it back to normal now and never transform it into this form again. Let's go ahead and talk about the accessories. We've got 3 wrenches, because of course Ratchet is a medic. We've got 2 blast effects that are compatible with the generic Autobot gun as well as the jetpack. A nice silver painted gun. I think this is for turret mode, but there is a flip out handle so that they can hold it in their hand as well. Of course, it is a fingerprint magnet. We've got the jetpack or thruster for the tray mode. One side is for, this is compatible with the blast effect, but one side is for the tray mode and the other side is for jetpack mode. We've got the nice drill. I think this drill is from that one episode of G1 where Optimus Prime gets stuck in the cave and all the Autobots have to dig him out, I think. Don't quote me on that. We've got the nice shoulder drill thing that I think all children's nightmares about doctors is made of. There's a peg for shoulder mounting, and then this goes into the tray mode. We have the tray mode adapter. This is specifically designed to hold all of the accessories plugged into one direction or the other, and it plugs into the tray mode and acts as the base for the battle station. We of course have face plates. We got the happy one, we've got the angry one, we've got the concerned one, and then the yelling one. And then finally, of course, we have the very cool comic head for all 4 of you people who give a shit. Looks nice, can't deny it. I completely forgot to show you the generic Autobot guns. It comes with 2 of them. They are, of course, generic Autobot guns. So, in conclusion, the Fantastic Model FM-04 is a fantastic looking toy with a not-so-fantastic transformation, but it's nice to feel in hand. At $200 or more, you kind of expect a premium experience, which this is most of the time. The accessories are nice, the alt mode looks nice, and the pop mode looks nice, but with the amount of paint chipping, that premium look and feel kind of starts to fade really fast. I mean, it just kind of stares at you in the face, because it's even worse on characters like Ratchet, where a majority of their color is white, and then because that means that the parts that aren't white contrast very hard against it and immediately stick out like a sore thumb. So you just have to be very careful. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. If you like my review and you want to see more in the future, feel free to subscribe. I'm still working on finding my groove on these videos, and this one took a little bit longer due to the scale as well as the holidays, but I appreciate your patience. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.